This series has been all about an expanding pool of A-tier picks here. We have the Ziggs joining the pool. We have the Camille coming in as well. And for Game 4, the question really is, who can take more of those critical picks on their own side and clinch down on the series? Before we get deeper into the discussion, we have to first thank our sponsors in CTPC Bank, China Airlines, Chunghwa Telecom, and Caliber. Thanks for making this league possible. I hope you guys are enjoying the postseason as much as we are. Now, coming into this one, we have seen that, the wins that came out from Machi are on that Lee Sin, a Camille. But now with Beyond Gaming also taking away the Camille pick for themselves, how is that going to change the dynamic here?
Well, I'd like some focus away from the Rise pick. I think the Rise pick itself is a fine champion, but when you pick it so early in the draft, it leaves so much room to actually get responded to. And we've seen Machi, they're not exactly a team that have a lot of smoke and mirrors play when it comes to the draft phase. But the Ziggs is just such a powerful pick. You have to put priority on it, especially if you are on blue side. The answer with the Varus was fine early on, but you are going to hit that cliff eventually, and the drop-off was pretty nuts.
Yeah, I feel like Machi, to me, it was like they were so set in their ways for playing late game 1-3-1 that even when they had advantages early game, they weren't really enough to snowball them. And a big part of it was that Rise, like you said. Rise is not a fast champion by any means. It takes time. He has to stack his tiers and all of that. So, we've had this discussion throughout this series that we do want to see Jimian back on something tempo. Maybe the LeBlanc, maybe the Syndra coming through onto his part will save Machi's chances and at least help them realize that they're the ones that actually have to go fast. Mega Bank Beyond Gaming have way too many picks and a lot of scaling picks at that to really take them off of that pedestal. They have to go into the opposite direction here. As we are going to go into the draft, Machi again onto blue side. Likai looks like he's trying to wake up here.
They actually go ahead and ban away the Ziggs this time around. So some attention being turned onto that champion does leave Varus up available, and that could be the potential first pick here. Coming in from Machi or Mega Bank Beyond Gaming, they banned away the Renekton, the Viego.
There's no way this is Trundle away. There's no way.
A Xin could be left available here.
Huh. They banned Trundle over the Xin? Very surprising to me. But it does leave that power pick open.
No! Okay.
I would have been okay with even a Camille, but Rise? Rise? Really? What do you make of this?
Take it away.
Just me taking it away? Okay, I'm just gonna say outright, I felt like Beyond Gaming has already won the draft. Congratulations, Beyond Gaming. Good job by by Wulala and Benny. You guys are truly coaches after my own heart. Well done. Take the power picks. Take the Zins out. Okay.
All right.
I just think they won draft. Case closed.
Get your hands on the Xin. What are your responses? Now you have to go for something like the Lee Sin, but Lee Sin isn't the answer at all. And I mean, you get the Varus, I suppose, but now Doggo, he's gonna kind of have the opportunity to pick something more aggressive. Perhaps the Draven comes to mind, and you just go Draven Leona, the hard slam. The Gwen left available all 3 games previously. Also, just in general, during these playoffs, definitely a pick that's just been left unattended. And okay, Likai changes this up a little bit. And this is a very heavy scaling 1-3-1. However, this team fight is really, really bad. You are not going to win a team fight unless if it's a really insane flank coming in from the Fiora and getting max value out of that ultimate.
I have to absolutely agree with you here. Machi, it seems like they gone in a completely different direction. We were talking about them pretty much having to play tempo. Beyond Gaming seems like they have way too many scaling options on the comp. But Machi say no. No, we are not going to go tempo. We're going to be the ones that stand our ground and go the JT route and try to do nothing. So, congratulations, Machi. I'm still not sure about this draft. It's going back to what they're familiar. It's going back to a type of macro that they know. It
rough.
feels bad. Yeah.
At the very least, having the rise into Orianna does mean you are able to get priority into the mid lane. It just kind of comes down to what jungler is actually going to be able to take advantage of it now that we are in the second phase and you do get a couple more jungle bans. For Gemini, this pool is pretty darn pinched, and now you're looking at something like, I don't know, an Olaf. But if you go Olaf here, that doesn't scale. You're not scaling with that pick with your side lanes. You're really just all in on the skirmish, and skirmishing top side is not it as well. As Doggo looking at the Kaisa pick, Draven's still available. That's probably not something you want to pick at this spot.
Kalista's much more like it. Okay, he's gonna lock this one in.
More sense. It is going to be last pick support once more.
So the question really is what Gemini is going to play, because all 6 of his champions this season are now banned. You called the Olaf. It's pretty much the only thing open now.
The Olaf really is the only skirmish heavy jungler that you could bring in. The Rumble would have been a possibility, but the skirmish power when he doesn't have his ult available is just not there. So it's going to be Olaf, and Koala currently hovering. This Nautilus would add extra catch potential. Don't hate that pick here. It makes sense here for pretty much a composition that's going to be stuck in non-stop catch or 1-3-1 situations. And for the side of Mega Bank Beyond Gaming, an Alistar would do wonders, honestly. Yeah, it's going to be the Alistar against this front line. It's just gonna obliterate them. I'm really struggling to see where Machi get their advantages, if not through just their solo laning, the solo lanes absolutely gapping by a nautical mile in their in the lane phase.
And talking about nautical miles, they do have Nautilus, so you know that's something that could potentially happen.
Good segue.
I'm trying to look for some bright spots here. I think we've all talked about how this matchup goes. If Machi X were not able to further a lead with a tempo composition, I think there's a pretty high chance it just get ran over by Beyond Gaming coming in with a faster paced game plan. So we'll see what happens, but there are a lot of good matchups here. I will point out that in terms of the 1-3-1, Fiora versus Camille, Rise versus Orianna, both of those are really good matchups. So if they drag it out, I could see it happening. My bet would probably still be on Mega Bank Beyond Gaming winning the bot lane. It's kind of hard to say. Alan's been doing so well this series. Have to hand it to him. He really is kind of showing up as the better AD carry. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, this bot lane matchup, I think, is going to be where a lot of the fireworks are going to come from here, with both of the supports going for a very aggressive matchup. A lot of playmaking potential and a lot of 2v2 power being drafted down in this bottom lane. Neither of these AD carries looking to just kind of zoom through lane phase scot-free. They definitely are looking to brawl down there.
Now we go onto the Rift for a potential last game between Machi and Beyond Gaming. Beyond Gaming on the cusp of just taking this series 3-1. They're only one step away from another meeting with PSG. See if they can accomplish it with this draft. Do have a bit of a 1-3-1 coming in from Machi, and for Beyond Gaming,
30 seconds.
finally trying to snowball their bottom side. Take a look at the runes here. Pretty standard across the board.
Trying to
But some
capitalize on
cheese
Liang.
coming in from Machi. Liang has not been the
Yeah,
sharpest this this series. Let's see if he can get away from this. The slowdown does land. Hook goes wide. He missed the hook. Are you serious?
You know, as large as the hitbox is on that Nautilus hook, how did he miss that?
I'll be honest. He just didn't aim it very well. Like Camille was already caught on the right side of that, so at least you force her into a level 1 hook shot at the very least.
Oh,
that was just
That's
a
a
mechanical
rough one.
mistake.
that's a rough one to digest
Yeah.
there. And Liang's actually going to be able to escape because look at his summoners. Like, he would have been forced into taking hook shot if he wanted to get out because he does have the ignite. No escape tools here, and it's just such a massive opportunity that was missed by Machi. You could even say that top lane is just done and dusted because Gemini can just run up top immediately and just dunk Liang over and over again, but that's not going to happen.
They
Still
even
could
got
happen.
Liang to stay even after he saw the undertow. Like, Liang was kind of asking for it. Not going to lie, like, Liang was... that he should have been more aware of his situation, especially without Flash, but he doesn't get punished in the end, so... at least Koala is able to land this one. They do get the level 2 trade onto an Alistar. However, really doesn't take any much damage at all.
Yep. And watch this
Atlan
level
is
2
not
coming
distraught.
in.
That's just how he always looks. Okay.
Watch this level 2 coming in because they do have Huxia in this area. Although after that ward, it might deter the gank. But clear lines being drawn up by both teams. Machi, they want to try and punish Liao, who hasn't had a great performance so far in this series. And over on the flip side, it's BYG trying to help out their bottom lane. Huxia going for a really creative gank pathing, though.
Ooh.
They know where that ward is, so this is brilliant.
Incredibly smart from Huxia. He knows that they must have warded around that corner, so he's just going to go around the back. Machi still looks like they can
A
read
little bit too
Kino
telegraphed.
quite well. Yeah, that Kino walking up like that is everyone knows.
Yeah,
As
they're still
Atlan
going to
will
try.
be the target. The flash comes right in, and we have the
That's
W
easy
landing
kill.
here. Atlan does not
Oh, he
survive
went a
even
teleport.
after the flash and the exhaust comes down, but a very late TP in the backline. Both mid laners do come down here, so it's actually fine for the Rise. But Beyond Gaming do profit from the play.
Yeah, both mid laners actually teleporting back. They were on recall to begin with, so it's not like either of these laners did waste their teleport. And it's just such an easy kill execution there. It was so telegraphed, yet they were still able to take advantage and secure themselves that kill. Liao, he's being put on notice here, as there's a lot of attention being thrown his way from the Machi side. And this is exactly how Machi traditionally like to play. Atlan performing hasn't really been the story of this split. It's mostly been just throw your resources into Likai, into Gemian, with Gemini then looking to snowball around those two.
And it seems to be the story of this series as well. In the early game, Gemini has paid repeated visits towards the top lane. Liang has not been having the greatest of series, but this could change as Huxia is coming in to help him out. Does realize that there is a ward there just based on the movements of Lee Kai. Another gank incoming, this time Gemini with the undertow. Does land the first one. It doesn't seem like that's actually enough to go on to Mawan anymore, as Mawan does stay around for the phase rush. Very well played on his part. And we will go back into the bottom lane, as Doggo does have the Zerker Greaves right now. Oof, it's very hard to win the trades against him at this time. It seems like they want to catch out Maoan or Huxia again. Maoan does, in fact, check
Catch
here,
out rotation.
but he keeps his
no.
distance.
You're really well spotted out from Maoan there. And
Here
now,
comes Husha for
Kino.
round 2. Kino incoming with the WQ. Should be able to catch up. Oh, no. Koala with a great E is going to get the slow down.
Good slow
And
there.
now Gemini is thinking about it. He's thinking about the invade.
They do have wave pushing in, however, doesn't look like Gemini will commit. And now we're going to start seeing level 6 tick up here. Importantly, G-Mian hitting level 6 opens up a couple of roam possibilities. Also, will be able to roam faster than the Oriana, as he'll most likely get wave priority more often than not, and possibility of cheating through priority remains the same with that ultimate. And Gemini poking his head around this dragon.
This could be very bad for his health. He does get rooted down, and the TP is forced out from Liang. We have a Realm Warp trying to save Gemini, but he doesn't make it to the Choppa. As that goes down, 2 kills now for Megabank Beyond Gaming, and they turned what looked like Mawan face checking into a kill.
Yeah, it ends up being more than enough space for Balan to get out of dodge, and ends up being Gemini being stuck in no man's land. As he tries to collapse for this, the teleport comes in, and Liang actually
able to. Whoa.
Yeah, Malan, great play there, being able to land the shockwave before the ult comes through from G-Man to get his jungler out of dodge, and that will be 2 kills and a dragon for the side of BYG. They're going to open a narrow gold advantage, but more importantly, it starts the dragon stacking early on.
Yeah, we have talked about Machi's win conditions. They are the team that's saying, hey, don't worry, we've got late game. But this early game acceleration is a little bit worrying for sure on Beyond Gaming's side. A 3 versus 1 if Lee Kai stays around here. Kino definitely going to go on to him at this point. Oh, do have the question marks here. Actually, a blind question mark ping, so well done by Lee Kai here, as he does have the spidey senses. Spots Kino out.
Yeah, Machi, they really need a turn for this Rift Herald, because again, this is a composition that mostly operates through their solo lanes. They want to be able to get the plates onto one of these champions.
Liang walks head first into a death brush, but we'll get the hook shot out. Lee Kai flashes on top of him, and they do get the kill. Plus the grand challenge. That's going to break the tempo up from Megabank Beyond Gaming. Let's see if they still try to contest this one. They're making their way outside of the river. Not really want to take this 5v4. That should be Machi with the objective.
Yeah, Machi get the objective for pretty cheap.
Oh, Kino gets hit up once again. The root will go down. Atlan now on the target, but Fate's Call is available again in the same brush.
Oh, the turn.
Throughout this series, that has just been the death brush for Beyond Gaming.
Ends up actually salvaging the situation for Megabank Beyond Gaming. It ends up being the death push for Machi in that situation there. Koala taking the brunt of that damage. Going into the replay, hook lands, but it is an Alistar, and the moment you do hook as the Nautilus, you have no escapes yourself. So the knockup comes through, and he is just trapped. Now it will be Megabank Beyond Gaming that secure themselves that first Rift Herald. Hopefully can help out Liang, but one slow. No one there though.
Yeah, G-Man isn't in position, and we just saw him roaming towards the bottom side of the map. Now he's finally back, and Beyond Gaming could find a big lead if they just get a gank, blow up one of these lanes early on, and that takes away so much farming time from a 1-3-1 composition. We'll pay close attention to where Husha decides to drop this one. It does seem like Machi are just in full push mode in this bot lane, so could just be an easy gank into the bot lane again. Kino doesn't have his flash, but Hex Flash is there available. Let's see how they ward out and prevent this.
I don't think they need to do anything super fancy in this bottom lane. They could just shove out the lane, just be really, just lane gank with Husha here. And just trigger a dive. It really just comes down to how well they're able to hold up in this mid lane. Maoan, is he going to be able to keep track of where G-Mian is?
They actually
yeah,
mess up the blue transfer. Oh, that's going to hurt Maoan as he goes back to mid lane.
He's going to be forced to recall. So, minor blunder there, but definitely a lot of ramifications, as that will force the recall and possibly even force the teleport back into the mid lane. G-Mian's going to be able to crash this wave pretty quickly. He has his own blue buff, so big difference in mana pools when it comes to the next 90 seconds-ish. And Dragon is up in 50 seconds, so if Maoan expends too much of his mana pool here, he's going to run into some issues when it comes to setting up for Dragon.
Oh, Kino is just caught up here. He doesn't have the Unbreakable Will just yet, so it does make him a vulnerable target. I actually felt like Machi could have fought that. They had a depth charge advantage here.
Yep.
Maybe they realize it now. Yeah, they could. You guys can really. Oh, okay, never mind. If you miss everything, probably not. But and it will actually be Husha turning back on the engage, and they just burst the Gemini down. Nothing G-Mian can do afterwards. Just sending the Realm Orb onto Koala. That was a weirdly undecisive fight for Machi.
I definitely think Koala had some reservations on trying to pull the trigger, given the fact that the last time he did land the hook onto Kino, he was the one to go down. But now Atlan definitely dead here. We'll have to expend the flash. Okay, well, he survives, but expending the flash is still a big win. They're going to be able to get more plates in that bottom side. Also a Rift Herald, so that should be first turret there for Doggo as the re-engage comes in. And, I mean, G-Mian, he can't do anything to help out his jungler because of the fact that the Crescent Guard just blocks so much damage.
Yeah, after the kill, Kino did get level 6, so yeah, there's nothing Rise can do afterwards, but that was really weird from Machi, because I felt like Machi should have just straight up opened up on Malistar. It's like, yeah, just kill him. He has no flash. You just kill him there, 100%. They kind of hesitated, went back in, missed everything, and then died. So it was... I don't know, like, it felt, to me, it seemed like Gemini asking Koala to go back in. It's like, what are you doing? Kill him! Kill the cow!
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it definitely seemed a little bit forced on the re-engage, or at least the engage afterwards, but, you know, now coming into that top side, everyone streaming in here. Teleport actually going mid for Maoan. Recall coming in from Husha, so Lee Kai wouldn't be able to walk away from Kino, but now Doggo in this top side. It looks like some sort of top siege coming in.
This time, Kino again roaming down towards the river, but he does have the level 6, so he's a lot safer. And even while spotted, no one's going to do anything to him. Just walks over the scuttle. It's completely fine. And we have a long path ahead of us to 1-3-1, but Beyond Gaming, as we've mentioned before, they do get that Dragon Soul at 24 minutes, so... Machi, they haven't really reached their zenith at that point. It could be a very vulnerable team fight for them to take.
And more importantly, the Inferno Soul helps remedy some of the damage issues they're going to have when it comes to later portions of the game. Of course, with the Kalista very low range, and you also don't do the most damage when it comes to AD carries, with a more kind of on-hit style of build, sustain-driven build, rather than doing maximum damage. The Inferno is going to help out considerably in that regard. And if Machi are able to get a couple of those, it doesn't have to be fully stop the Dragon Soul, but if they get one or two, that helps them out considerably in the fact that you're able to slow down Soul and also get more AD onto Atlan, which will also just really increase his damage numbers in some of these pre-fight setups.
We do have a bit of a spillover fight happening in the bottom side here. Lee Kai now getting opened up by Liang. Liang Going to get the Ignite
Oh
down.
my god!
All 4 Vitals being procced, and Lekai finds a turnaround solo kill
Oh,
against the Ignite.
Oh
Well done.
my god, Lekai just... He was so fast at proccing those Vitals. It was just instantaneously, the ult comes in, and in a blink of an eye, all 4 Vitals just get instantly procced here. You're going to see it right again. It's just such a fast execution from Lekai, showing that he has such great proficiency on this champion, and also showing Liang that if you take my Camille, I know exactly how to punish it. Lekai displaying his prowess.
That was absolutely disgusting right there. The most difficult part is on the blade work auto attack reset, you have to hit a different vital.
Yep.
And most of the time,
Yep.
like, if I'm playing that, I'm way too lazy to actually move into position to do that. I'm just like, I'll hit you in the same spot. It doesn't matter. It's okay. And I would have died there. But not Lekai. Lekai got such a fast reset into the lunge as well. That was, Jesus, that was beautiful to watch.
Yeah, that was probably one of the most pretty Fiora plays I've ever witnessed. And that just flashes the potential this Machi composition does have, right? And once this hits late game, these side laners are just really uncontested. G-Mian's also starting to get to that point, has the Everfrost now completed, a lot of catch potential available on this champion, and Double Gore Drinker completed by Gemini and Lekai. So their team fight is respectable at this point, but again, it's going to take a really good flank from Lekai and a really good ult angle to get maximum value from that cooldown. But
you
now
have the depth charge being used right onto Doggo, but with Kino in position, that is going to be all. They just wanted to dissuade them off of the tower, but I feel like Mega Bank Beyond Gaming are pretty happy with that result. It's like, oh, you're down and all. Then that means free Drake, right?
Dragon up in 10 seconds. Lekai does have his teleport,
Machi
but
are going to go for the cyberbullying again, just targeting Liang over and over. Here's the grand challenge, Everfrost down, and goodbye Liang. Not having a good series whatsoever, but the engage on the other side is happening underneath the tower. Husha trying to get the knockback onto Atlan, but Atlan gets the flash onto the other end. This is going to be a 5v4 as we have Gemini walking in, but he doesn't find anyone before falling. Lika also takes a ton of damage by Dago, but a great hook down onto the other side. Husha very low, forces the flash away, and now Kino is in a bad position, but he also gets out of the situation. Big question now is, can Machi actually secure this Infernal Drake? It would be massive if they can, but they can't really face check.
I think it's just going to be a reset coming in from both of these squads, so you're about to see yet another fight. This time more focused around that dragon area here. Although Machi might have just said, hey, they're probably already on it, but turns out they're not. Unfortunately, they don't have the vision to actually know for sure. And it will be Mega Bank Beyond Gaming getting this mid tower and also getting that dragon on top of it. We're going to see the replay. A nice attempt from Husha to get the Zinsec on that play, but not quite there. And they're just bigger damage numbers in this 5v5 or team fight situation from the side of Mega Bank Beyond Gaming, especially when Atlan doesn't have mana. It just becomes even more difficult for him to fight.
Yeah, Kino was nearly made into leather at that point. Beyond Gaming are going to come back and take down the tower. Mid lane tower was a very important defensive anchor for the 1-3-1 composition with that gun. Beyond Gaming also take away the Drake, so despite some clever plays, good mechanics from Machi, they still don't stem the tide. They still are looking at a do or die team fight. I will say though, Lekai is looking damn scary. Lekai cannot be trifled with.
Looking damn scary is an understatement, Clement. This guy has so much sustain. He's got so much AD packed into this champion already, and just seeing how fast he's able to proc these vitals, Like, if you ever show up by yourself in that lane, no matter who it is, he's just
Like this?
he's able to instantly burst you. Fiora shouldn't be an assassin, but in the hands of Likai, it could very well be.
We'll see if he can get a good flank angle. He's still taking a lot of damage coming in from the enemy team, though. We saw just like an Orianna ball to the face, and he was missing basically a third of his HP.
Team fights are still an issue.
Yep. We'll still need to go a little bit later with this one, but we do have a hit squad coming in from Machi, as Likai starting to work on this tower. He has so much sustain at this point. He can take tower shots for free and not really worry about it. Heals right back up on the minion wave. Meanwhile, Beyond Gaming just trying to force their way through the mid lane. That was a smart play against the 1-3-1. But they will get slowed down by Gemini here. They can't really catch him either, so Gemini can be quite a nuisance in this situation.
Yeah, and there's just so much engaged power coming in from Megabank Beyond Gaming with this 4-man squad that Machi, they do have to play very carefully.
Jimian? Oh no!
He has to flash. Oh wait, he doesn't have to flash. Oh my.
The pathing from Jimian was very suspect, but he does get out in the end.
Yeah. I don't know
we've seen
how
this
he did
so
it,
many times with the Rise this series. Just he gets caught out, instantly bursted, and the team fight's over. So he really needs to be more careful with those.
Yep, he's playing this champ like he's playing a Sylas who has a little bit more leeway when it comes to getting caught out because of how durable he can be. But now it's going to be Megabank Beyond Gaming going straight onto that Baron buff. And if they lose Baron, that's going to be a big problem for Machi.
This is a pretty slow Baron. Beyond Gaming do not have the percent HP, and in comes the fight. Chains of Crushment slows down the entire backline. Kino has to be saved out from the back. Death Chart goes in, and Likai already with the reset. There's no way that Beyond Gaming can hang into the fight anymore. They get decimated. Dago trying to hide on the other side, but the whole team from Machi is going to chase him down. They lead their AD carry to the Wolves, the literal Merc Wolves, as Dago tries to get away, takes the undertow to the face, and he gets out!
Oh, wait.
Oh, okay, never mind. I'm sorry. Likai's here. Good night, sweet prince.
That's a shutdown.
It was never meant to be.
That's a big shutdown into the hands of Likai as well. That's 550 extra gold, and now they're going to turn over towards this Baron buff. Liang still in the area, trying to slow things down. And, I mean, neither team have a lot of Baron damage, Clement.
Yeah, this is a definite overreach from Gemini. You're not taking that Baron with 500 HP, my friend. He's also backing on a ward, which could be very disastrous. Liang doesn't find a target. The backs do come out. And Beyond Gaming could decide to just run this again.
Back to neutral, but they don't have to start out the Baron. The bigger thing is this dragon that's coming up in 45 seconds. And with these item breakpoints, 2 items completed really all across on the big ticket members for Megabank Beyond Gaming. They have 2 items on Mao On. This is where his damage starts to ramp up here. And they also have 2 items on Dago. This is probably the peak of his damage as a Callista. And this is their best attempt at a fight, having big advantages in those 2 roles.
Yeah, Beyond Gaming also do have the vision advantage here, as we do take DC Gemini. Starting to clear out that part of the ramp. Likai at this point is looking incredibly deadly. Oh, but they do find the burst onto Likai. The riposte is used early on, and Likai's just down, just like that. Mistake. He goes way too far forward. Gemini trying to equalize it into the back line. Atlan gets open up onto Kino, takes the Varus back into his own team. They find the kill there. That's going to be 4 kills for Beyond Gaming. They take the Dragon Soul, and most likely the Baron at the same time. Likai had a great game up until that point, but just overstepping his bounds.
And Likai, he has experienced a bit of a top lane syndrome there. Thought he was strong enough with all the items he had, but you're very strong in a 1v1 situation, not in a 1v4 situation there, as he just instantly gets blasted, and that's fight over. Even when he is able to get a better spot, it's still going to be very difficult. He needs flank positions, and we know Machi, they can set up flank positions, but they don't end up finding one in that situation, and that dooms them incredibly in that situation. And now, against this Baron buff, it's going to become more and more difficult for the side of Machi to push in this 1-3-1 setup. And the only way for them to come back is just going to be them getting that Elder Dragon in 5 minutes, but that's still 5 minutes of time that they have to somehow drag out.
Yeah, we'll see if they can make it or not. I gotta say, that play is when you know Lee Kai is a rookie. It might be very surprising to a lot of our viewers, but this is actually Lee Kai's first split coming in for Machi. Some of those oopsies do happen from time to time here. Even though that was a pretty big oopsie. They still have that sort of scaling game in their back pocket. Maybe they can steal away something like the Elder Dragon that you just mentioned. But it's looking damn hard, and at this point, with the Baron buff, Machi are not going to be able to get much farm on that Fiora anymore.
Yeah, and the issue is the champions that you're looking for to teamfight, they're kind of past their prime. Atlan, at this point in time, only on 2 items. Yes, he's going to be able to do some decent poke damage, but against a shield bow Callista, that's not going to stick very well. And Olaf is definitely past his expiration date. Not even two items at 27 minutes into the game. He's got negative value at this point, and Koala just hasn't been able to land enough key plays with this Nautilus that at this point, if he goes in, he will instantly get blown up with how much damage is in the hands of Mawan on 2.5 items.
It's still possible for Machi to find a win, but they need the grand challenge to be particularly useful, heal the entire team. That's the only way I really see this one going in favor of Machi. It's Beyond Gaming coming in with a slight range advantage. They're doing a great zone out with the balls on the path here. Infernal Dragon dealing a lot of damage, and they get the flash from Atlan very early on into the fight. Yeah,
great shockwave to force out the cooldown there, and that's a lot of safety removed from Atlan. Doesn't have any peel as well, so he's going to have to play from much longer range. And that means he can't really posture up to use the ultimate to look for a pick here.
Oh, we do have the blast going into the base directly. Koala already down to half HP. The base goes down without anything said by Machi. They have no answer at this point. Trying to do a collapse, finding a good concave in against Beyond, but that's still not winning the team fight. Chains of Corruption goes down onto Hushan to get the flash out of Mao, and the fight is incoming. Everfrost stops Beyond on the side lane. But can they find an actual kill? Still a lot of full HP bars, and Koala finally goes down. Lee Kai trying to find his angle, trying to pop his vitals. He's going to go on to Liang, but he's so low health already. He dies before finishing the grand challenge, and that's all for Machi. Only Genie alive left. Dago is going to flash past him to make sure there is no escape. Double kill for Mawa. Beyond Gaming take this series 3-1. They've got a date with BSG.
As expected, Mega Bank Beyond Gaming are able to finish the job with their team fighting composition. On the side of Machi, they just weren't able to leverage those solo lanes hard enough. They had a 5-0 Lee Kai onto Fiora and just weren't able to finish the job in that situation. And
they're trying to please their bosses now. Okay, that is Dinter, previous TPA jungler. Also the boss of Beyond Gaming after he had a very successful streaming career and investment career in NASDAQ. Yeah, you know, Dinter was talking about replacing the players if they didn't come through. It seems like the players are trying to hang on to their positions.
You know, sometimes it takes just a little bit coming in from the owner to give that extra oomph to the squad. And you know what? They delivered this series.
Yeah, very well done. I felt like Beyond Gaming, honestly, they had more avenues to victory. And for Machi, they refused to pivot based on the matchup. It was pretty obvious to us that they didn't really have a chance in terms of a scaling type of a game plan. Lee Kai, I think he showcased a lot of great things this series. Overall, I would give him a higher score against compared to Liang, but that mistake was way too critical. That mistake was you can't make those in a must-win game.
That was just one of those cases where you're so strong and you're top lane, so you haven't actually experienced a full-blown team fight, and you think that you're stronger than you are in those situations, and he just goes in top lane mentality, man, and there he goes. It's similar to an AD carry mentality.
Yeah, he lunged a cow up a ramp. Oh, it still hurts me just watching that, because maybe without that play, Machi did have a chance to come back into it. They were scaling quite well, and Stark's gauge is where really Fiora starts turning things around. But he had a pickaxe, and he went up a ramp and gave over Baron plus Dragon Soul. So, unfortunate for Machi. They still have a chance to go to Worlds. They have the lower bracket white open to them, so they're definitely not out. Top 2 will head on. Things are not set in stone, but there's another team they have to worry about outside of PSG. And that's going to be Megabank Beyond Gaming that could be joining them in the lower bracket very soon. That's exactly also what happened in the spring split as well. We had a lot of games between these two squads.
Yeah, and I mean, these two teams, along with PSG, they're really our most expected top 3. No one really in that area to contest them. Boom, they're an interesting squad, but because of their inconsistencies, they could break that trio, but at the same time, they could just lose their next series randomly too. So they're just a very unpredictable squad to count on, and we are going to see the numbers post game. See that gold chart? Yeah, that was tough. That was definitely tough, and the damage, just really well-rounded performance all around from the side of Megabank Beyond Gaming. And for Machi, yes, they compare well in the damage numbers, but we watched the team fights, there just wasn't really any comparison in that regard. The Olaf had reached his expiration date, didn't even have the items to help him, and then the Fiora, incredibly strong, but not built for team fights until that third item.
Yeah, Machi were basically hanging their entire game plan on Lee Kai in the top lane. And the rest of the team, even though they had good opportunities, I felt like they never tried to pursue them. We saw, like, Atlan going for a very timid build. Like, he went straight rush Mirror Mana, which is like, I'm scaling into late game. I'm not even building serrated dirt. Forget about lethality. What is lethality, Varus? Anyway, I don't even know what that is. And then you saw, like, Koala not taking opportunities when he clearly had an advantage. So, in my mind, it really goes to show that Machi has been allowed to play pretty much one comp the entire split. But when it comes into postseason, when they have to shift around, they're not really able to take opportunities with the tempo. And Kino this time is going to get the MVP. I think mainly just for baiting Lee Kai. That was, spreading mad cow disease on the opponent team does give you an MVP right here.
And I really loved Kino's performance here, just with his positioning in a lot of these setups, not being too far in front of his team, but being in a position where if they try and jump in on the backline, he's immediately there to disengage the situation and then counter engage. So really well positioned coming in from the Alistar. And it really just threw the side of Machi into so many fits because they didn't have a lot of engaged tools beyond the Nautilus in the straight 5v5.
True. And we see Machi now, again, this is the third time this has happened, falling down to Megabank Beyond Gaming in a best of 5 series. Beyond Gaming, we got to hand it to them. At the start of the split, nobody was counting on this team to be here. Nobody thought that a rookie squad would be able to make these strides, but they're here. They have another date with PSG, and we wish them best of luck against the undefeated Titans of the PCS. That's going to be it for from us in this series for now, at the very least. We're going to go towards a short break, and afterwards, Raichu is going to come back with a post-game interview.